So as I ramp up in here to episode 236 of Coast to Coast Pinball, Total Nuclear Annihilation, built by Spooky Pinball, designed and birthed by Mr. Scott Denisi, is on sale. They're selling. People are excited. It's fun times in pinball when we know a game's going to get built and it's something different, unique. We're going to dive into that game with Scott Denisi here on episode 236 of Coast to Coast Pinball tonight. Let's go. I would like to welcome to Coast to Coast Pinball tonight, Mr. Scott Denisi. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I am really well. I'm glad to have you on. I'm sorry that I'm the worst pinball podcast host in the world and blew you off for upwards of 10 days trying to get this show recorded.
It is all good, man. I've just been heads down crazy, so all good, man.
Do they have you slaving away by day there at Pinball Life?
Oh yeah, for sure. Pinball Life is my day job, and then I have a pinball machine to design and program and write music for, and all sorts of other engineering and production crud to do after work. So that's awesome. So I guess that's like two and a half jobs maybe.
And your wife still accepts you into the home in the evenings?
She does. She is such a good sport. I gotta say, man. Jeez.
She is a lovely girl. I have met her a couple times, and very, very pleasant to hang around with.
Well, thank you very much.
You're a lucky man. So, Total Nuclear Annihilation. That is the big news today. I see the threads going on Pinside. Games are being sold. Charlie and KT over at Spooky Pinball handling the sales, handling the build. How excited are you right now?
I am very excited, but also at the same time, it just still doesn't feel quite real. I'm a little bit in shock, to tell you the truth, by the fact that something that I just tinkered with and built in my garage was something that so many people just, had welcomed with open arms, and now they were so interested in it that, Spooky's like, hey, let's build this thing. It just doesn't seem real,
It is a pretty great story in that there's been a lot of these, quote, homebrew games get built. There's been a lot of attempts at different boutique games, some of which have come to fruition, some of which have not. You're going to go down in history here. This will be, in this big resurgence of pinball, one of the most interesting projects, certainly, that we've seen in Total Nuclear Annihilation. I think it'd be cool to kind of document what brought you to this point in your pinball, life, quote unquote. I hate this pinball life. Haha, I get it. Where did it all start for you? How did you get there to the point where you're like, I'm going to build a pinball machine? Because pinball machines are easy to build.
Yeah, the pinball machines are not easy to build. I don't know who keeps saying pinball is easy all the time, but
no.
They got to stop saying that.
I know.
Man. Well, I've always been a tinkerer, right? So I've always kind of messed around with stuff. And I got, I was doing arcades and things when I was, after I graduated college, and, a little bit messing with it and a little bit in high school. But most of that stuff, after college, I started really getting into stuff like pinball. And it was just really fun for me. I just kept digging deeper and deeper, which I don't know if I should have done, but because now I'm really deep into this thing. And, I've done little bits in here, little projects before with, reprogramming things like Earthshaker, and I did a tiny bit of Judge Dredd stuff, with the P-Rock system. But yep. I got into it, and I just went full out, one day and decided let's build everything, Let's see what happens.
So when did we first meet? Probably around the Dutch pinball time when you were working with those guys?
It was. I believe that was somewhere in 2012-ish.
Yeah, probably right around the time this show was starting. How did you get involved with Dutch pinball?
So I knew Koen from back in the day through the P-Rock community.
Yep.
I just offered to I just reached out to Koen one day because we'd been, we talked before, and I'm like, hey, if you want some help, I'll help you get this Bride of Pinbot thing, really rolling, and let's see if we can do something with it. So he was like, sure. He's like, well, here's where I'm at. Here's the stuff. Let's do it. So I actually built a Bride of Pinbot in my garage, and it was the Bride of Pinbot 2.0. And we put the old school DMD in there. And I'm like, well, I'm in Chicago. Expo's coming up. Why don't you guys come out here and let's bring this game over. And these guys have been doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Kuhn would have done awesome stuff even if we didn't start forcing through the Bride of Pinball project. But he was doing the Bride of Pinball stuff, and he was also creating this back end framework. I don't know, it was really cool. He actually showed some of it at Expo one year, where he showed the light show generator and all this things to sync up the scenes and everything. It's really neat. But he was doing all that stuff. I had very little to do with that. But I came on board with them and just kind of helped them. I just came on board as a contractor and helped where I could.
So what point did you wake up one morning and say, all right, I'm going to do my own game?
So it wasn't really a wake up, I'm going to do this. I'd been part of this P-Rock community for a while, and some of the guys on there are just hey man, you should build a custom game. And I'm like, aha, real funny. I don't have time for that, or, I don't know what to do with that. So, eventually they just kept saying, they're like, oh, it's not that hard. You just do this, and whatever, and they're like, just do it. And eventually I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to try it. Let's just do it. So, I started, tinkering around, and, I knew SolidWorks already, which is a 3D program. So you could do mechanical engineering in 3D on the computer. So I started, playing around with a playfield and, building stuff in 3D in a 3D environment. And from there, it just got out of control. I started cutting playfields and screwing assemblies to it and playing around.
So you were deep into the P-Rock community and working with some, kind of working with Dutch, and then you went to work with Terry at Pinball Life. Did that play into it now that you're actually dealing with physical pinball parts on a daily basis and that sort of thing?
I started with Terry the beginning of 2015, and I actually started the pinball project, started building Total Nuclear Annihilation on, I think it was in November of 2015. Is when I just made the decision to start doing it. Now, does it really play into it? Maybe slightly. I would have done it no matter what. I think the thing that plays into it really is the fact that I got parts at an employee discount, so it's kind of easier.
That helps.
Yeah. So, there's that. But I mean, my day job is completely different than building a pinball machine. It's two different worlds completely.
You actually make the pinballs, right?
Do you mean make them forge them from
forge the ball
iron
bearings
from sand?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Make them in-house.
So I go back on your blog that's at scottdenisi.com for anybody that wants to follow along here. And you're very, very early on in your development of Total Nuclear Annihilation. You can clearly see what you were going for. And this is a game that is not what everyone's expecting from modern pinball titles and modern manufacturing. It's a flat game with features seen back in the 80s, not even 90s. We're going back to the 80s. Talk about your appreciation, your love of those games from, 20 plus years ago, and how that influenced when you went down to finally design a playfield layout.
Yeah, absolutely. So those games, I have not owned a ton of single level playfield games, and this is something that may be a little bit surprising and maybe throw some people off. But most of my collection in pinball and the things that I am really drawn to in pinball, or the era that I'm really drawn to, is the System 11 era. Mm-hmm. The games were they were really brutal. They were quick. They still had fun stuff going on. They were that stepping stone from those flat, no ramp games from the 80s to from the early 80s up to those games from the 90s and the WPC era games. But really what I was going for was I wanted a simple game that was really fun to play with people, right? So my friends, we always play dollar games with each other. It's just a fun thing to do.
Yep.
And we're just having some drinks, playing some dollar games. That's the thing. But I always noticed that when we play dollar games on something like Monster Bash, right? It's just not as fun as when we're playing dollar games on some EM that no one's ever heard of, that, barely functions or whatever, we're just playing it as it lies, with the switch errors or whatever, it's interesting that the more simple it gets and the more brutal the game is, the more fun it is because all four of us or however many are playing that dollar game are all gathered around and watching very closely, like what's going on, So I mean, basically, I just wanted to really come up with something like that was modern, but yet still had that very simplistic, social aspect to it.
So you end up starting out with a project, and it was dubbed originally just Total Annihilation, which I know later changed due to video game interference in the naming and whatnot. Why did you name it that? Did you already have kind of an idea for scoring or quote theme, or was it just something that sounded cool? What was your thought process on the name?
Oh, it's interesting because I wanted to make a game where you were the anti-hero, because every single person, or not every single person, how about every single game that I can think of, you're always like the hero trying to do something, trying to like fix something or stop something or, whatever. And there's never like a time when you're kind of like tongue in cheek, like the person that's, destroying stuff, Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it like Total Annihilation, and then I came up with this, like fun thing, like, hey, you're going to go to the future. It's like opposite of Terminator, So it's like, you're going to the future to destroy that civilization so that they can't, discover reverse time travel and come back and destroy the 80s, like, so it's just a fun thing. And, after a while, at first it was going to be pretty like I wasn't planning on having this thing available for mass consumption whatsoever. So at first it was like, you're just going over there and you're just going to destroy the civilization and that's it, And eventually I kind of I made it a little bit more fun in the story, about, just overall, like when you look at the artwork and stuff, the final art, you'll see it's more fun than a like really dirty, like Mad Max style, like, vibe,
I think it's interesting when you look at kind of the overall package. I totally agree with you, by the way, on the old broken EM game being more fun to play with a group of people than trying to play like, Johnny Mnemonic or something. I agree completely. I talked about that at Pinburg, how I just love the older games, the old solid state games and the EMs for that sort of competition. When you were kind of laying it out and thinking about that, you said just now that you didn't ever think it'd be mass produced, so there was no thought whatsoever to this thing might not cost that much to build.
No, because the thing does cost a lot to build.
That's the rub, right? That's what Charlie's telling me, at least.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, I really had I had zero thought that it would ever be picked up for mass consumption. Seriously, like I was just building this so that my friends could play dollar games with me on it, and I was going to just bring it to some shows and have a good time, and hopefully share it with some people that wanted to play more dollar games.
And you had to be talked into a digital screen, correct?
Yeah, sort of. I don't remember exactly what the conversation was, but I was working with the framework, and I originally was just going to have the Bally score displays, on there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh man, I need to make a service mode. I need to make it. I need to make like lamp testing and stuff like that. And it was just actually extremely hard for me not to use the screen. It was way easier to use the LCD screen because I could just put stuff up on it and show some cool animations or coil testing or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's actually why I did that. And then from there, I just kind of tried. I was like, well, I guess I'll do something cool with it, but I'm definitely not putting scores on it.
How do you go about deciding your rule set when you have this game that's doesn't have big ramps, doesn't necessarily at the beginning have all the animations in. How are you writing rules for that game? Where are you pulling inspiration from?
Well, there's a lot of inspired stuff in the game already. There's it has that Rob Zombie chop save in there. Mm-hmm. It's got like just standard like bonus X multiplier when you complete the lanes up top. There's oh man, what's going on there? Standard ball save stuff. But there's what else was I doing? There's combos in there. Man, you know what? I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff in that software that you'll probably recognize from somewhere else. And I've just taken everything that I really liked, that I've mostly that I've seen, and kind of combined it in a nice way. But at the same time, there's some things that I caught a glimpse of that I just expanded on. For instance, the locking mechanism that I'm doing on those drop targets.
The Denise lock.
Yeah, that's yeah. The name of that thing is that's another whole fun story. The custom game builder guys were wanting to have that be recognized as something that I made, so they started calling it that and like saying it everywhere, and it just like they were trying to get it to catch on. I guess it did. So
I see T-shirts.
There are T-shirts. That's great. Yeah, Double Danger Pinball did those. I think they're really cool looking, actually.
I think they're great.
Yeah, kind of neat. So that locking mechanism was interesting. So in Stern Star Trek, there is a time when the ball will go behind the drop target underneath that vengeance ship.
Yep.
And and that I thought was really cool. I'm like, well, I mean, we could use that as a physical ball lock. And then I'm like, wait a second, I put 3 drop targets in here. I'm just going to space them out a little more, put some optos in there, and then I'm going to lock 2 in there and see what happens. So,
I think it's brilliant.
I just started playing with it. I mean, it was very tough to get the software to be very reliable with that mechanism, but now, I mean, it's been through so much testing. It's really solid now. It's gone through all those shows and stuff. So,
are you writing all the software on your own?
I am. There are some people helping me, like once in a while in the background. The framework itself is called Skeleton Game, which is just a sample game that a guy named Michael Ocean created on the PROC platform. Basically, it's just like a starting point, and you start with this thing called Skeleton Game, and it does basic stuff like, hey, you push the start button and it starts a game.
Yep.
Like. So some of the things that you don't necessarily have to just rewrite every time, like some of the things that that should happen in a pinball machine, just happen for you, and you can go from there. But so that he's been helping me a little bit when we're doing stuff. I've been pushing some of my changes that I've made to Skeleton Game back to the open source community as well, so that there's just trying to make that thing more robust and easy to understand.
Is this going to be the first mass-produced PROC game?
No, Lebowski.
Lebowski is PROC, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let me think. Is there anything else? Well, Multimorphic technically beat us to the punch, too, with the P3.
Yeah.
The P3 shipping.
They are shipping now. They've got, how many are that? 10, 20, something like that?
I'm not sure. I am not sure.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on some of my news there. It's interesting. How is the PROC as far as using it for programming and running a machine now? Because I know we've been talking about that board for years now, and Jerry's done a lot of work, and it really drove some of the homebrew, maybe completely drove the homebrew community on some level. How is that working right now in 2017 for you?
Oh, it's pretty good. I mean, the PROC itself isn't something you can just take and dump into a machine and then turn your machine on and have it work for you.
No.
It's not, I wish it was something that easy, but you still kind of have to know what you're doing. You do have to participate in the community. There's tons of people out there that help and, work with, will actually reach out and work with you to help you get up and running. There's a few frameworks available for it, so you can go through and pick what you want. And, but it's so much easier now than it used to be. I got my game up and running when I actually put the computer inside of it and the PROC hardware. I got it up and running in seriously like 20 minutes.
Wow,
So it was booting into an actual game with a little stupid attract mode, you know.
that's awesome.
But yeah, it really isn't bad. I mean, I think I wouldn't really been able to do it without the custom game building guys, because they're always there to like help you with something stupid like, hey, I'm booting this thing up and it's like it's not doing anything. What did I do wrong? And they'll like give you an answer in like 2 seconds. That's save you like days of work. Um, but yeah, the platform itself is really solid. I mean, I've never had any issues with any of the P-Rock boards or anything. I mean, we've been beating this thing at shows for a while. The Whitewood game of this thing has I think 3,600 plays on it now,
Wow.
and yeah, I mean, no major issues.
Talk about the artwork. That was a fairly recent, unveiling. Who did the art? Where did it come from? What was the inspiration?
Yeah, sure thing. So Matt Andrews, who is, he's been doing a few pinball projects before. He did the cabinet artwork on Magic Girl. He did the whole artwork for the first iteration of Houdini. He did some other things as well. He's just a very talented artist overall. But I reached out to him and I said, I was like, hey, I'm doing this project. I'm thinking about having, fully like illustrated art on the thing, because to me, that looks really cool. It's like it's not like just cut and paste stuff that I would have done on the computer myself. It would have looked really terrible. I'm like, well, you know what? Let me just get a real artist and get it done for real. So Matt Andrews did the art. We looked through a bunch of stuff to get inspiration. There's this whole thing out there right now called Outrun. I don't know if you ever heard of it or not. Have you?
Yep, I have. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Excellent. For the people who don't know, I mean, it's like steampunk, except it's the 80s version of steampunk. So it's like what people from the 80s like thought the future was going to kind of look like.
That is not what I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about the driving video game, arcade game. Never mind.
Well, it is sort of like that. Yeah, so that's kind of where the name came from, which is interesting. So there's this, Outrun the video game was, it kind of looked, I don't know, maybe it didn't look totally futuristic, but and it doesn't look like all the crazy stuff now that like this guy named James White, he kind of pioneered the whole thing, like with this Outrun retrofuturism.
The
thing.
Triangles and the pink and the purple and
yeah, exactly. But it kind of evolved over time. But it started with Outrun, and it started with that video game. So it's definitely crazy. I mean, I don't know everything there is to know about that subculture, but I was definitely inspired by it. So we used that, and we kind of went from there because it's fun, it's bright, it's it just looks real neat, then. And people can, like younger generations, can actually relate to that right now, which I think is really interesting, which is actually a side effect of the whole thing. So.
Talk about the back glass. You have a female character on the back glass. She seems to have some sort of cool glasses in a. Is it a gun? Is it a zapper? Is it a glue gun? I'm not sure what she's holding there.
It's a detonator, but it's interesting because it's the girl on the back glass was actually inspired by my wife Sarah Rose.
I knew you were going to say that. Yep.
Yeah, it's really funny. I don't know if you could recognize it a little bit when you look at her face.
Yeah.
It's like kind of modeled after her a bit. But I wanted to put, we were originally talking about it. We're like, oh, we need to put a character on the back glass. And I wasn't really I really didn't think, I'm like, no, I could put a character. I couldn't, I was just kind of up in the air on it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's see what it looks like. Right. So Matt just like drew something up for me and like kind of mocked it up, and I just like fell in love with it as soon as I saw it. Having the actual character on the back glass is really cool to me. I don't know. It looks exactly like how I wanted. So I gave Matt a lot of freedom on this thing.
I think it looks good. I think it was a good move on your part because it gives kind of a face to the game for a game that's sort of based around kind of futuristic tech and things like that. I think that's a smart move on your part, in my podcasting humble dumb guy opinion. So you have displays built into the playfield. You have digital displays there. Tell me how those are integrated into the game.
Absolutely. So there's two separate displays that are built into the playfield that are underneath like a clear insert. And the first one down below, there's one between the flippers, and that's actually your ball save timer. So it indicates things like how many seconds you have left on your ball save, and it just counts down, and shows you like how many milliseconds you got left. It's like, or like fractional seconds, whatever. But it's neat because I have never seen that before, and I thought like, I just thought that would be really cool because I wanted the game to be intense. And when you are racing your ball save, like if you lose a ball down the middle and it kind of like scoots up the out lane on like the left or right, when that ever happens, and you're like, get down, before that ball save light stops flashing. You don't really know exactly when that ball save light's going to stop flashing, but in this game, you know exactly when that's done and when that's expired.
Definitely. So, and what about the one up top near the upper flipper?
Yeah, the one up top is actually in a section of the playfield that I'm calling the reactor core. So that is a section of the playfield where there are 3 slingshots aimed at each other and a little small mini flipper. And that display is actually there to tell you the percentage to critical that the reactor is. So the closer to 100% critical you get, the hotter the reactor is getting, and you're trying to boost that up to 100%. And then from there, the reactor goes critical, and then you will exit out the bottom of that reactor and try to hit one of the shots to actually destroy it.
Because that is sort of the game play is you have 9 reactors, I believe, you're trying to destroy in total nuclear annihilation. It's very literal.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, there are 9 reactors. You go to each of these reactors. They get progressively harder to start. They get progressively harder to bring to critical. They get progressively harder to destroy. I mean, it's interesting. It's not what people think of as it's kind of like a linear rule set a little bit. But at the same time, there are ways to stack multi-ball and ways to do other things, like bringing your reactor value, like the value of that reactor, all the way up before you bring it critical and before you start it. So there's all sorts of different like strategies that I built in, but I wanted to keep it very simple as well. So it's something, it's kind of tough to explain, but I can't go through all the different strategies, but that's
no, it's something that I noticed right off the bat that people who've played it and spent some time looking into it. It seems like there's something for everybody there. There is some real deep rule set strategy in this pretty, I don't want to say simple is not the word, but in this deceptively basic kind of layout and idea. There's a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Mostly it has to do with just the way that you do things. So there's a lot of risk and reward in this thing. There's a lot of things like ball stealing, for instance, is one of them. When you're in a multiplayer game, you have to change your strategy a little bit, because if you leave locked balls on the playfield, the next player is going to be able to free those. So it's kind of like a throwback to like those 80s games.
Bringing back the ball stealing in 2017. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been around in a long time. I can't remember the last game with a stealable lock. I don't know.
That's a great piece of trivia that I certainly don't know the answer to right off the bat.
Nope. Someone does, though.
Oh, yeah, somebody's rolling their eyes at us right now. What about the graphics for the LCD animations? Who's taking care of that job?
Oh, cool. Yeah, so the graphics that everyone has seen so far, those are just things that I made as placeholders, just so I'd have something up on the screen. Most of those were derivatives of open source Cinema 4D projects that I just downloaded off the internet, and it's totally legit to do it. But you're using open source stuff, and it's kind of
generic.
I didn't really do that. Yeah, it's kind of generic. Yeah, it doesn't really fit exactly what I was doing. But David Van S from Spooky Pinball, he's the animation guy over there, has gone through and worked with Matt Andrews and redid all of these animations, and they just are ridiculously outstanding. Now they fit the game, they fit what's going on. There's pieces of the playfield in the LCD there's like, it's cool. It's all very cohesive now.
When
But
might the world see some of that?
very soon, we're working on getting that together soon here. The world needs to see it for sure.
Definitely. So, what's been your reaction to the reaction, I guess, of this game? Because, you know, you take it out to shows as a whitewood, and people have to sort of imagine what it could be, and then you show them your artwork, and it's like, okay, this is real now. There's a game coming, and then you announce with Charlie and KT at Spooky Pinball, hey, we're building this thing. And the reactions started coming in, and I know that you've probably had all sorts of different takes on the game, but from your point of view, this is your baby. What's been your kind of feelings watching the responses come in?
It's been actually really surprising, to tell you the truth. I was preparing myself for 50% of the people to dislike it and 50% of the people to like it. And then, well, I take that back. Let's do like 49% of the people to dislike it, 49% of the people to like it, and then, the 2% left over that just don't get it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I prepared myself for. And overwhelmingly, the response was positive, with a few exceptions, which I really did not expect that. And that's, it's very humbling to me. I mean, I don't, I'm very appreciative of, the acceptance that it had. But I think, it kind of just, it's just doing its thing, I mean, that it's not really me that's, it's the pinball machine. It's not really me that people like,
So as far as people not getting it, have you seen responses from people who kind of judge it as, oh, look, it's a flat game in a box that costs $6,000? What would you say to those people who kind of don't understand why there's no ramps, why there's no pirate ship moving out of the playfield, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's been more than a few. I think those people just don't. Well, first of all, they haven't played it. The people that don't understand it, I think when you actually when you stand and play it, you will kind of understand for what I was going for. The fact that it looks very simple, there are a lot of people out there that are just never going to be able to accept that, and that's okay. It's totally fine. And the rule set, there were a few people that were complaining the fact that it was a linear rule set, like, oh, I have to go through starting at reactor 1 and I have to work my way all the way to reactor 9 the same time, the same way every time. Yes, that's how it functions, and that's how these older games were. They weren't, you can't really throw a random element into that, besides like making it sort of random in how you destroy each reactor, which the game actually does. But yeah, you can't really change it. You can't just like start on reactor 9 and go to reactor 4 and then, jump around. It doesn't really make sense.
So on my last episode of the show, I was talking about the game and talking about some reactions I'd heard, and I proclaimed that Stern Pinball, the largest pinball manufacturer in the world, would be stupid not to go out and hire you, steal you away to Chicago and get you on board. And I got some pretty strong opinions in email on that. I got some people who thought I was being insulting to Charlie and KT at Spooky, which I certainly was not trying to. People thought I was, I don't know, selling you short, maybe people who aren't fans of Stern. I got people who said, absolutely, I can't believe that they would let such a cool game not be built by their brand. What was the kind of, how did you get to the point where Charlie said, yeah, let's build this thing? Because I don't want to sell them short. I think it's amazing what Spooky Pinball's done up in Wisconsin and what they're continuing to do. So what was that process and negotiation kind of like? Was it just, hey, let's build this game, or how did that happen?
Well, so Charlie was watching the whole project, and Charlie and I are very good friends, so he knew what I was doing. And he's like, he was watching it. I brought it to Expo. Everyone, they all came out and we were playing it and stuff. And Charlie started dropping jokes. He's like, with that, inside every joke, there's a little bit of truth, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
especially with a guy who has a pinball, factory in his backyard and needs to build games.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, whatever, it's fine. But. Yeah, so, I mean, Charlie started dropping hints like, hey, we should try and build this thing. And I'm like, I don't know about that, man. It's pretty complicated. And, he just kept joking with it. And, eventually we started sitting down and he was like, hey, maybe we might want to take a look and see, if this could actually be built. So we started looking at it, and there was a way to make it happen. So we kind of just started going down the route, and kind of here we are. I don't know, man. It went fast.
It seems like it went fast. I agree with that. I think it's exciting. We're recording. It's almost midnight here in the Netherlands on Monday, August 14th, and it's middle of the late afternoon where you are. You guys have started taking orders today from previous Spooky Pinball customers. I know I saw the email go out. Any word from Spooky headquarters on how that's going?
No, they're not really sharing numbers with me, which is probably good. I don't really need to know, to tell you the truth. I don't really want to.
Oh, I'd be like hanging by the phone if it were me.
No, I have so much right now that I need to focus on to make sure that this game is production ready, that I don't really need any distractions. So it's like, they'll do their thing, and it'll all work out.
So the idea is to build in batches of 50. Was there any worry in your mind, like, well, what if we don't sell 50?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure we're going to probably sell 50.
You already sold 50 from what I heard. I heard that's already been done.
Yeah, who said it?
I think Charlie said it.
Did he? Oh man, I'm not caught up on anything.
You're at work. I'm already home from work.
I'm working. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting for sure. But yeah, I mean that's great news though, for sure. But I really got to focus on getting the game solid, which it mostly is already. But there's like some other things that I just need to finish up before we actually release the software to people.
You're so humble. I love that about you.
Sometimes too much, and I think I like it.
I think you're doing great. So what is the plan long term for the game? Do you see this thing shipping in the next few months with completed, done rules, code all in the box, or do you plan on keep adding to it as you go?
All right. So I've been thinking about this for a while now. The game itself, every single thing functions in the game the way that I wanted it to function, right? As it sits right now. There is coin op support. There is replay support. There is all sorts of crazy cool audits. There's easy updating via USB. All sorts of stuff in there now. The game's going to ship, and I'm going to call that version 1.0. I mean, it's done. But going along, like as time, I mean, we're going to probably have to do bug fixes after the fact. I mean,
sure.
Just always, when you throw one of those out on location or something, we're going to probably get, some bug reports from it, and I'll be able to fix those, no problem. But I want to see how people react to it, and I am listening to people when people are making suggestions. I'm not just completely blocking out everything that people are saying. Things like the artwork and stuff, it's too late in the game to change anything.
Yeah.
I hear people, and I hear, I'm not just like, screw you guys, the art's done, I mean, but it's, it's too late in the game to change anything. And I am very happy with how it sits right now. But the software, though, it's not too late in the game to change stuff. So stuff like, I could add in some other little, Oh,
don't say it. Careful what you say. Careful what you say.
I don't want to say anything. I could add in some other little things that, people think are fun that could add to the game, but I don't want to put too much because after a while, I don't want the game to feel like a modern game.
Totally. Totally. I'm supposed to ask you, this is an email here coming from one JS in Chicago, Illinois. Did you put the really cool sharp multi-ball rules into this game? I'm supposed to ask you that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And those are in, and I can tell you what that is actually because it's been to a show with those rules in it. It was at Southern Fried Game Room Expo with the jackpot rules in. So basically what happens is you lock your balls in the drop targets, right? So 2 balls get physically locked, and you release it by taking the 3rd ball and slamming it into the drop target that's holding the ball, or holding the other balls, and it just kind of does a Newton effect and drops them out.
Yep.
Then once those balls clear, there are optos in there that know that everything's done and clear, and all three of the drop targets reset. So then you have, you can hit that first drop target and drop it, and that will give you a regular jackpot, right? Then you have 5 seconds to hit the second drop target for a super jackpot. Then you have 5 more seconds to hit the third drop target for a triple, and then you have 5 more seconds to hit the scoop, which is behind all three of those drop targets for a super jackpot. Now,
that's cool.
What's interesting, though, is that every 5 seconds, the drop targets cascade backward one row or one time. So if you get all the way up to having a triple jackpot available to hit and you don't do it in 5 seconds, it will reset that second drop target. So now you have to hit your double jackpot again to get to the triple.
So somebody could just alternate and hit double jackpots over and over? Just hit it,
you could.
Wait, and hit it? Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yep, you could. It's the problem with that is, and I've seen people try to do this, is the game doesn't like physically, it doesn't like when you try to play in control. It's trying really hard to mess you up. Things like that pop bumper there, with the slings and the dangerous shot.
Love the single pop bumper, by the way. Love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that too. Actually, I wanted to do that because it reminded me of those old Gottlieb games.
Yeah.
With a pop bumper in a weird spot where it's like it's just out in the open, man. I mean, it's not. You don't see that anymore.
You don't. It's cool. It's probably one of the things I like about this game the most is there are a bunch of features here that you don't see anymore. And I think both rule set wise with we were talking about the bonus counter earlier before we started recording. I think that's that's going to be a major part of scoring on your game.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Right now the bonus is there's actually multiple different types of bonuses too. I don't know if I'll keep it that way or not. Maybe I will, but it has the standard bonus, which is your advancement through the game. Right when you hit it, it's like achievement bonus. It gives you a light every single time you do something. Do something important anyway. But then there's things like reactor bonus. There's unused ball save bonus, which is totally interesting, and I've never seen that anywhere yet. But if you're familiar with the chop save in Rob Zombie, basically what happens is you hit all 4 lanes, like out lanes and in lanes, and you can lane change them around. If you light all 4 of those, it gives you a ball save, right?
Yep.
So what I do is when you light 3 of my lanes on Total Nuclear Annihilation, it will flash a 4th one. That 4th one will just be flashing bright white, and that's the one that you collect to start your ball save timer up. Now, if you leave that on the table and die, it gives you a bonus for that, for the fact that you left the table.
Very cool. I like it. Can you lane change your multipliers up top, or your I don't know if they're not bonus multipliers. Maybe they are bonus multipliers up top.
It is a bonus multiplier. Yep, and you can lane change it. Yes.
You should also. Can you go both ways with both flippers?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have been a jerk and made it only go one way with one flipper.
Oh, I'm a jerk already, man. There's so many things in this game that people are just like, what the hell? The game's mean, but it's fair. That's how I like to say it. It knows that if it kicks it out of a scoop and it goes directly in the middle, down the drain, it knows it screwed up and it'll give you that back,
That's cool. That's very cool.
But things like if you take your skill shot and you launch your skill shot and it doesn't quite go up the little skip ramp that's in there and it comes back into the shooter lane, it goes, nope, you don't get another skill shot, and it just fires it out.
Oh, that's great. I like that.
It's there's all sorts of stuff in there, the little things like that are just you kind of get one shot at. For instance, the skill shot is one really good example of that too. The skill shot's up top, so if you launch the ball, it goes up around the orbit to those lanes up top. Well, when you actually launch the ball, it opens up the control gates that are up there, so you can overshoot it or undershoot it or whatever and not make it into the core up there. So,
I like that. That's great.
It's a true skill shot.
It's a skill shot. That's good. Mm-hmm. I have to ask. I have to the way my mind works. Let's say you sell. I'm going to throw a number out there and drive Charlie crazy. Let's say you sell 375 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a nice number. That's a success. That'd be the biggest run by Spooky, I believe. So let's say that happens. For instance, over the course of however long it takes, are you going to do another game?
Oh man, people keep asking me that right now, and my response right now is like, no, because I need to finish this one. Like I really do. Like I cannot get distracted by something else. And this game has to be everything I have has to be into this game. If I start getting distracted, it's gonna not be what I want it to be. So I know that's a cop-out answer. I know.
That's a total cop-out answer.
I know, but it's true, man. I'm really trying to just get this one done.
Fine. Let me ask this question. What is the next theme of your next game going to be?
Oh, man. I would really love to do a Coast2Coast Pinball.
I thought you were going to give me an answer. I thought I had it. No, that's fine.
Yeah, that's...
None of that. None of that. Bible Adventures or nothing.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking Meatloaf, maybe.
No. Life is a lemon, and I want my money back. Anyway. Scott,
yeah, I don't really know. I mean, there's cool stuff out there. I do have some cool themes in my head that I would love to do, but if I say them out loud, someone could take them.
I knew it. Don't say them out loud, but I knew it. You're going to do it. You want to do another game. I hear that.
I got some stuff in my head, but, do I want to do another game? Yes. Am I going to be able to? We'll see.
We'll see. I have positive thoughts, is how I'll put that. So good for you, Scott. Thank you for spending time, man.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
I appreciate you coming and doing this. Very good to talk to you. I hope I get to. I want to play the game. I feel cut off from the world over here. I haven't gotten to play. I know there's people. I'm seeing emails and posts from Europeans saying they want to buy the game. Hopefully, Spooky figures that out and they can get games to Europe as well. If not, I'll be over there to play it soon enough. Thanks a lot.
Coming over or no?
Expo's going to be tough because I think it's earlier in the month than I thought, and I might not be on either continent at that point. I might be somewhere else. Might be going to Asia.
Yeah, the game for Expo will actually be at the Pinball Life open house. So when that stuff gets released, that's where that will be. So
that's
for the viewers listening, come see it.
Yeah. Everyone take a look at it. If you're listening to this and you don't know what we're talking about, you're under a rock somewhere. You can go to spookypinball.com. You can go to scottdenisi.com. It's all over the interwebs, the pinball interwebs, talking about total nuclear annihilation. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you sell dozens and dozens and hundreds. And, man, good for you, Scott. Thanks so much. You're one of the good guys out there, and I'm glad to see the success starting to happen.
Thank you very much, Nate. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Talk to you soon. Hey, look at that. Episode 236 of Coast to Coast Pinball. Scott Denisi. He's a champ. I wish him the best. Friendly listeners, you're all champs. I wish you the best. Teresa in bed asleep. You're a champ. You are the best. Until next time, be good to each other. Like, really, come on. Be good to each other. Stop it. Yikes. Take care of yourselves and play more pinball.
So he tickles that group, or he will be very well. I think there's the anti-establishment style of the game that's, with the no ramps or whatever, the brutal, ball is wild action that probably tickles people the same way that like Iron Man tickles people or whatever. You know what I mean? That
Iron Man tickles people? Do we need to call Marvel HR? So I'll tell you right now, I didn't record most of the beginning of that because I'm a moron. And I'm using new software, but we joined you in progress, and you're talking of tickling and scratching itches and stuff.
That's good, right? You're editing this together, so there'll be like DCFS waiting for me when I get home. Sir, we have you on tape earlier today talking about tickling little boys.
All right. So while we wait for the Scott Denisi interview, Josh Sharp is warming up the crowd. How was Pinburg for you?
Pinburg was awesomely spectacular, awful.
It was amazing till the very end.
All emotions were had. Yeah. I also gained like 6 pounds, which is awesome.
It's
like my favorite 6 pounds to gain every year.
This was a new year for the Sharp brothers in food, because usually you guys like set me straight and you finish the night and you go to your room and you're gone. But we had dinner like every night afterwards.
That was a new ad. I'm kind of in favor of the new ad.
I like it.
Yeah, it was good. That was probably where most of the 6 pounds came from. Like, I don't know, let me eat a bunch of food and then like go right to bed. Well, I hear that's a good strategy.
And it was Dave sitting next to us eats the ice cream sandwich. Killing me.
Right, it was probably a pound just to watch him eat that.
Yeah.
My body was like, brrr.
Yeah, and he's like, I gained so much weight. And I'm like, whatever, dude.
I can't think of a better, like, because people use their vacation time, right, for Pinburg, and for so many pinball tournaments, it's like you don't have fun. Like, there's a large group of people that, like, it's a pain in the butt, it's stressful or whatever. But, man, I can't think of like 3 vacation days of, like, playing pinball all day, eating food with friends, like, sleeping without kids waking me up every 3 hours. It's, like, a really solid 3 days of fun.
You cut out there for a second, and it sounded like you said sleeping with Africans waking me up every 3 hours. I'm like, what, are you on a safari? What's going on? Yeah, Teresa like bandied about the idea of going to Pinburg, and then as I talked about it,
you're like, no, you can't allow her to come. She'll ruin everything.
Yeah, but I had to play it cool, and she's probably listening to me say this right now, so I'm blowing my cover. But I had to I was like, yeah, you should come, and then I explained to her what it's like, and I see the look on her face, and she goes, oh, so it's like summer camp for adult dorks. And I'm like, yes.
It's exactly it.
She's like, yeah, I don't want to do
exactly that.
Yeah, so she will never come to Pinburg. But it is a great time.
I don't have to try nearly that hard to get Amanda to not go. Believe me, she is hyper interested in not going.
When was the last time Amanda played pinball?
Oh, that's man. Talk about unprepared questions. Let's see. I can look her up. She used to play in my league.
It's not that she seems disinterested in it. It's that she kind of just pretends it doesn't exist when I've seen her.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the Zach moved to Stern. Amanda's thrilled. Let's see. So she played... Oh, that's right. We did a Flippin' with the Greats fundraiser in my basement in 2014 and 2015, okay. And I might have forced her to play.
So she literally had to just let gravity prevail as she stood at the top of the staircase and fell down into a pinball machine.
Yeah, before that, she played in our Chicago league before kids for iShow in 2009, 2010, and 2011. So 3 years of playing in our monthly league. She would come with me.
So she was trying to like lock you in though at that time, right?
No, dude, we've been together for 2000, 2001. So she won't listen to this podcast, so I can't get in trouble for not remembering when we met. But it was definitely, I was still at school. It had to be 2001.
I don't know if Ed will appreciate it. I was joking before I started actually recording this that I was waiting for Scott, and then I was going to call Ed, and I couldn't find Ed, and then I was going to call Bowden, but he's at work, and I was going to call these people, and I did text Ed, and I said, are you near your Skype? And he just texted me, not exactly, and if I could show you the picture of where he is and what he's doing, you would all...
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. It's good to be Ed.
Yeah.
So... what else is going on? Your brother's going to go work at Stern.
No, he is working at Stern.
He's working at Stern right now.
Right now. It's 3:30 p.m. in Chicago. He is, 6 hours into his first day. I don't know what time they start over there. And he had his first really crappy commute in Chicago traffic today.
Oh, yeah, that seemed to worry him a little bit when we were talking about it at Pinburg.
Yeah.
It's all worth it.
Dude, was that just like a humble brag that you knew about it before the public? That was like a slight Nate.
Oh, it kind of was. You're right. It was. Yes, it was a humble brag. I had previous knowledge. It's interesting because he made a joke when I was talking and thinking I was actually moving to Chicago and going to work there of like, hey, now someday I'll come and work there in marketing, kind of like as a joke. And we're like, haha, that's so funny. And then now here we are, a year and a little bit later, and he's there working in marketing.
How about that?
I guess that's really a good thing in the grand scheme that the marketing department grows. They're able to add people in, and Stern's healthy.
Yeah, they're seeing. Yeah, I mean, we can go down the path of like everyone's the Stern demise that is a daily occurrence because of whatever they end up doing with the games they put out that have no content and have no the code issues, the physical Baron issues or whatever. But it's certainly if you're a numbers person and not a random conspiracy opinion person. I think they're doing pretty well right now, and yeah, I don't know how you if you decide to, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. Besides, if you're me, you look at the numbers and you say, like, things are good. Let's do more of this.
Yeah, I it better than anybody. We talk about is pinball growing. Pinball's growing. It's amazing to me.
Pinball's growing.
Pinball's growing.
The pizza pie is getting bigger.
I have some I get my Facebook analytics, like page views and ads and stuff, and it's never very much because I'm not super active on social media. But man, I tell you, I see these page views, and I'm like, what are you looking at? And B, it's just cool that people are randomly clicking on pinball things and looking at stuff. And I assume you're still seeing nice growth in IFPA membership.
Yeah,
and
we'll see. The dollar stuff hasn't hit yet, so we'll see if. That'll be the first sort of test of time. Will that be the first year we don't grow?
It could be.
Possibly.
Could be.
It could be. Very well could be.
I kind of feel like it won't be, though. I feel like almost... I feel like all the talk will somehow still...
There's certainly... there's some people that have that, the first quarter will be down compared to the previous first quarters, but then as the year progresses, there'll be... even this overcompensation for people that are like they start buying in, and who knows.
What's your favorite pinball machine right now?
I mean, it's kind of like right now, kind of changes all the time. But I did get my Batman 66 set up, and that's pretty fun.
Tell me about it, because that also... I was paying attention, clearly, when that was launched, but those landed sort of while I was in cryogenic frozen sleep.
It's still not all there yet. Lyman's continuing with his chisel of, chiseling the block of stone into David or whatever. But... I've just been having a lot of fun with it, with scoring, the scoring opportunities that game offers. I certainly was texting Lyman a couple of pictures of like making sure that did I just blow this mode up or is there some sort of like bug? And he would send me back like, nice job, that was a good mode of that. So like the opportunities he gives, and the game. The way that like the multipliers work on the shot multipliers, that was sort of a evolution of what he did on Dark Knight with the Commissioner Gordon multipliers, and then the playfield multiplier through the bat turn spinny thing stuff in the whatever. What's that top left area called? Whatever it's called.
The top left area.
What is it called? Yeah,
the Batmobile, where the Batmobile.
People call it something. It's
I'm not super deep in that game.
But whatever. Regardless, there's like multipliers upon multipliers to be able to get that. Like then, if you time things the right way, you can cash in on some really awesome shots. And that's fun. I find that fun. All those people in Star Wars that don't find multipliers fun. Like for players like me, I think it's fun. And what I love hearing people complain about. I'm riffing now, Nate.
That's fine.
Me.
Scott's online, so you've only got a minute or two here. I'm warning you.
But like the people that complain about the multipliers in Star Wars, right, and how you don't need them, and
they will never score big.
Like, my response is, if you don't care about score, that's the only thing the multiplier rule has to do with. It has nothing to do with content of the game. So shut up. Who cares? Then
Ignore
don't
them.
use them.
Don't
You're
use
like,
them.
Right. It means nothing to you. If you make a shot and it's 1 million or 1 billion or 1 trillion, if it doesn't matter to you what your score is, you're just trying to explore the game, then it's a meaningless rule for you, but it's there for the people that want it.
So
the same thing with the stacking of before they did the premium stream, they turned off stacking of modes or whatever, where you couldn't do two at the same time.
Yeah, because they wanted to show it kind of mode by mode, simplified out.
Yeah, but for those people that are like, yeah, they shouldn't even offer the play two modes at one time, and it's like, that's so stupid. Why would you not want to offer your customer, an insane number of options in gameplay for themselves, and then let everyone pick their own path that they want?
I agree completely.
I don't know.
Is that your first game with
Is
that your first game with a digital screen in it?
It is. It's my first. Yeah, I'm still, reaching under the cabinet to turn the power on.
Oh yeah.
Which is fun. Figuring out how to update code and stuff, and yeah, it's my first Spike
game. Wow. Well, very good, Josh. I got to let you go. I got to get to the main event
before 2 a.m.
I'm trying. Thanks for filling in, though.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Scott.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya.